My dog just woke me up by slobbering on my arm. So I'm at school early because my school starts at 8 and I'm here at 7:16. So I didn't need to be here. So, as my brother would say,
you dumb, you really dumb.
So I'm home. Had a pretty good day. Had to study for exams. So we're at Best Buy now. Best Buy. What are we doing? He's getting a phone case. So I'm in the car alone. Nobody in the car. No one in the front of the car either. And I'm waiting for Aaron and Daddy to get barbecue. I can't solve this thing though. I know there's a pattern, so should I just Google it or try to figure it out myself? Just keep vlogging until I solve it. Guys, what's the next step? Okay, well, so I've been trying to record my About Me for at least 30 minutes, and I haven't even shot a single thing, because one, I needed something to hold my camera because I wanted a nice setup. So I have this contraption between a music stand, a calculator case, some colored pencils, string, and a hanger as my holder. And then my phone's about to die. And then I just did my hair, and I had to go outside to take my dog out in the rain. Although it didn't do much, but should I take the hint or should I not? So I'm in Kroger for my mom. Still can't get to that video yet. See, I got cat food. So, stop moving. Okay, Becky, I just read your entire story. I have read parts of it before, but I just read until chapter 8 where you got. And I really liked it. The first, up until chapter 5, it was kind of slow. I mean, I know it was developing, oh, this is how he gets to this rank. I'm not going to spoil the story. But this is how he gets to this rank, and you needed to build it. But chapter 5, it got me on my toes. It was like, what's next? What's he gonna do? Oh man, he's in trouble. What's happening? And all the way, you got it really action-packed. Some advice I could give is maybe get away from he was and instead go to the perspective of now. What is that called? The present rather than the past. Because in the past, I feel like I'm looking oh, it's already happened, so he must be okay if the story continued. But technically, books are usually written in present tense, so that might help you. I really like how you have the date and the time that really sets it to where oh yeah, this is okay. This is the time periods in between it, and that's something that most books don't have, which I really like. It's very original. I've never read a book on Quad about the army and stuff, and I think it's cool that you are writing an original story. I have to give this book probably a 6 out of 10, and not because I didn't like it, but that it could be longer for each chapter, and maybe that present tense thing, and maybe get the reader more involved. Although it is, I can see it's about him, completely like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to him? Please tell me he's not going to die, kind of thing. I can't wait to see how your story develops, and I'm sure when you write more and I can get into the story, I'll bump it up a few numbers. Maybe I just did that because it kind of ended very abruptly in a cliffhanger, and I hate cliffhangers. But so yeah, good job, Becky. And for you guys who want to read his story, his story will be in the description below. Like if you liked his story, like if you liked whatever else I put on this vlog. Comment if you want me to read your story, and judge it. That kind of sounds mean, but you know what I mean. Constructive criticism. And yeah, I think this is the end of today. So, sorry for the short review. I'll give you a full one once you finish the book, and I'm excited to see how it continues on. So bye everyone, love you, see ya, bye. Okay, so last thing, instead of a song of the day, I'm going to be reading you a story real quick because I don't have much time, but it's a really long story, but it's hilarious, and there's a bunch of references to other songs and stories, and if you guys can guess, whoever can guess the most stories and references in this thing, and trust me, there's plenty, gets a shout out from me. So this was written by Anonymous, and it's called A Christmas to Remember. Ready? Our Christmas tale begins with two young lovers who you might know. One was Frosty the Snowman and the other one was the Ice Maiden. The two loved each other dearly and would spend hours frolicking in the snow or walking through the winter forest at night. Where they often came upon a midnight clear, they wanted to marry, but things were not well for the two young lovers. The Ice Maiden's mother, the Snow Queen, forbade the two from marrying, as she had already promised the Ice Maiden's hand to Jack Frost. Or perhaps it was because Frosty had shouted, "Happy birthday!" at the Queen every time they met, that she disapproved of the marriage. With no other choice, the two eloped on the 23rd of December. Parson Brown married them in a meadow with the best man and maiden of honor as witnesses. Frosty's best man was Olaf, and Elsa was the Ice Maiden's maiden of honor. Before long, the Snow Queen found out what had happened and sent a terrible snowstorm to the meadow. Even Elsa was powerless to stop the storm, and they were engulfed. They could barely see in front of their faces, and all hope was lost until they saw a shining red light approaching. It was Rudolph and his red nose lighting the way for Santa's sleigh. "I thought you could use a lift," the jolly man said. 3 snowmen and 2 ladies climbed into Santa's sleigh, and away they flew to the North Pole. The Snow Queen paced her icy hall in a rage. How dare they defy her? It was then that 3 richly dressed men came in. "My queen," one said, "congratulations on your daughter's wedding. Could you tell us where she is? We have come to give her our wedding presents," the man said. The queen sent them out to find her themselves, asking that they tell her where the couple was when they found them. The 3 men found the couple at the North Pole, but did not report back to the queen. By the end of the evening, though, she knew where they were, and she wasted no time in preparing her army to destroy them. The army of the Rat King, Frost Giants, Polar Bears, Yetis, and even the abominable Snowman rallied together. The army was led by the Snow Queen's good friends, White Witch. Frosty and the Ice Maiden were mortified when they found out. "Oh, Father Christmas, what shall we do?" the Ice Maiden asked desperately. Santa laughed. "I can call an army of my own. I have a list, you see. I checked it twice. I know which soldiers are naughty or nice." And so an army of good elves, penguins, snow angels, the bumblebee, and Elsa's friend Marshmallow came together. Even the vanguard was impressed, including 12 drummers, 11 pipers, 10 leaping lords, 9 dancing ladies, 8 milking maids, 7 swimming swans, 6 laying geese. The 5 golden rings stayed at home. 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge minus the pear tree. The decorated Nutcracker soldier even agreed to lead the charge. So on the 24th, the armies of ice and snow, as they called themselves, clashed in the North Pole. The epic fight raged for hours, and there were many losses on both sides. Not really. They were just having a snowball fight, but it was still pretty intense. Even the gingerbread man turned around and ran back home when he saw the battle, saying, "I'm going to run, run, run as fast as I can. They may catch me, the gingerbread man." They were still fighting as the sun set, and Mrs. Claus' rations of hot cocoa were running low. The Snow Queen, however, was nestled snug in her bed, while visions of victory danced in her head. She and her kerchief and cap had just settled in for a long winter's nap, when in her room arose such a clatter she sprang out of bed to see what was the matter. It was a ghost, female apparition. She glided across the road, unhindered by friction. "Who are you? What do you want?" Had the ghost come to tease or taunt? "Really, I just want you to stop rhyming, I find. Please, would you mind?" the ghost asked. The author was obliged to stop rhyming, which came as a relief. The ghost pointed a finger at the Snow Queen. "I am the ghost of Christmas past. Come with me," she yelled, and the Snow Queen was transported to her past. She saw images of a small girl playing in the snow, and then of a lass learning to control the powers of winter. She gasped when she saw herself young and in love with the snowman. They had been separated, and she was married to another by her parents. An icy tear glided down the Snow Queen's face as she saw the 2 separated lovers grow cold and callous over the years. She had become a Snow Queen, and her lover had become the abominable snowman. The images of the past melted away with the ghost, and the spirit of Christmas presents showed the Queen her daughter and Frosty, lovers much like she had been, holding hands as the army advanced. "She belongs with Jack Frost," the Queen told the spirit. He laughed. "Yeah, as much as snowflakes belong with an open flame," he retorted. The spirit of Christmas yet to come then showed her a future covered in ice, where the mother and daughter froze the world over in an icy battle. The future pair glared into each other's eyes, both of them as hateful and cold as the other. "No, she cannot end up like that. Not like me," the Snow Queen screamed. She awoke in her bed in a cold sweat, because, face it, everything about her is cold. She noticed a figure in red stalking around the fireplace. Surely Santa wouldn't try to invade her castle. Actually, it was the Grinch. "What are you doing?" she demanded. The Grinch said, "I was trying to steal your Christmas decorations, but you don't have any. Oh, Christmas tree, where exactly are you? Deck the halls with anything. Sheesh, I just wanted to annoy you for freezing over my mountain every winter." Had she really done that? "I'm sorry, friend. No icicle shall ever touch your little mountain again. Do forgive me. I am a new person. The past, present, and future will strive within me now," the Queen declared. The Grinch was stunned. His heart grew 3 sizes larger. The Snow Queen rushed to the North Pole, where the armies were building snow bunkers and snowball launchers. She immediately called off her army and pleaded for her daughter and Frosty to forgive her. In the Christmas spirit, they gladly did, and on the morning of the 25th held a grand party for the 2. They all feasted on figgy pudding and chestnuts roasted on an open fire. Even the Sugar Plum Fairy came. Musicians flocked to the party to play. The little drummer boy played a cadence. Willie brought his little drum. Robin took her flute and came. They were merry while they played "Tooraloo, pat a pan, for the joy of Christmas Day." "Happy birthday," Frosty told the Queen. "Good son-in-law, nobody's birthday is today," she answered. He shook his head. "Today is Jesus' birthday." The Queen smiled, and her icy heart melted just a bit. "It is, isn't it? Well, happy birthday, Jesus." At that moment, the little drummer boy ran up to Frosty. "I know where you can honeymoon. You can take a cruise. I saw 3 ships sailing in on Christmas Day." "On Christmas Day?" Frosty asked. The boy nodded. "I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning." "On Christmas Day in the morning," Frosty repeated it. In the end, the 3 ships sailed away. By the time everybody had figured out that the 3 ships had come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning, instead, Elsa gave the couple her unused ice castle to live in, and they took off on the Polar Express to get there. After many happy goodbyes, Frosty the Snowman and the Ice Maiden left on the train. As they zoomed away, they could be heard calling, "A happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." The end. Well, yes, you heard the story, guess, and if you want to replay the story, just back it up a little bit to the very beginning. And good night.